This is your announcer, Neil Patrick Harris. Welcome to the original theme park podcast, Coaster Radio. Here are your hosts, my close personal friends, Mike Collins and E.B.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the original theme park podcast. You are listening to Coaster Radio. My name is Mike. I am here with my friend E.B., and we are ready to talk theme parks and thrill rides.
It's the fourth episode in our quadrilogy, Mike, our Orlando Quadrilogy.
I like that.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah, the fourth episode that we're talking about our trip to Orlando in February. This is our Disney episode, Mike. I'm so looking forward to this one because I think we weren't necessarily expecting to be adding so much around our SeaWorld meetup that just happened back in February. And I think maybe the Disney trip was the one that came as the most surprise, the most pleasant surprise. Like, oh, we're going to get a Disney day. And then it was like, well, let's go to Epcot. Spoiler alert, we had a great day.
Oh, it was great. It was great. I can't wait to talk about that in the second half of the show because it really was like the bookends of our trip were kind of extra add-ons that we weren't planning, really.
The first day was spontaneous to the extreme. And then this last one was just such a pleasant surprise that we were able to make it happen. And we'll talk about how that happened in the second half of the show. But yeah, this is going to be great. Disney talk.
Yes, good stuff. But as always, a ton of news to get to. And that's what I like about these shows. Even though they are trip report shows, we are not ignoring the news, EB. And it's a good thing because the past couple of weeks has been filled with a ton of news.
Yeah, a lot. It certainly has. And it also proves to people that we didn't record all four of these at once and then take a month off.
Exactly. Yeah, although that would have been a good idea. Maybe so. Yeah.
Now, let's do some news. Let's get to our first drop.
Man, oh man, it just was it 2 weeks ago when we were doing the show about SeaWorld Orlando, you were talking about how the two of us were just walking around the park, kind of taking it all in, walked through their Sesame Street land and saw a pretty good show with a puppeteer actually inside Big Bird, making him move and walk around even and tell stories and stuff. And we thought, that's pretty cool. And I think we kind of were saying how great the land was. Like it was pretty good. But man, now, just this past week, Sesame Workshop, who's the nonprofit behind Sesame Street, is suing United Parks and Resorts to end their long-running partnership, and they are seeking damages.
Yeah, this is wild to me, exactly what we're talking about here. Don't cross Big Bird, I guess, is the lesson. But I guess SeaWorld was misbehaving with the agreement that they had with Sesame, not opening parks they said they were going to, or not paying royalties for parks. It's all very odd and interesting, but yeah, and in the end, Sesame Workshop is suing to say that the SeaWorld parks were not good caretakers of the brand.
Yeah,
I think that's what it comes down to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here's what Sesame Workshop claims. They are alleging that United Parks stopped paying royalties owed under a 2017 licensing agreement, in some cases allegedly since 2022, and then fully halted in 2024 and 2025. They say they previously owed $11 million, which was only paid after arbitration and court action. But here's the interesting part. They say they mishandled and damaged the Sesame Street brand.
That's the part.
Yeah. Including closing or altering Sesame-themed parks attractions without approval, abruptly shutting down places like Sesame Place San Diego, and canceling expansion plans and reducing operations. And they say that was the United Parks taking retaliatory actions during the dispute and using the brand without proper authorization.
There's a lot here. Look, I think this all ties back, Mike, to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting going away, and Sesame Workshop is looking for a new source of funding.
That's an interesting.
We lost a lot of revenue when the CPB got axed by the Trump administration in the summertime. What's next on the agenda? And it's like, well, follow that bird too. No, that's not going to do it.
No,
Elmo's World? No, that's not going to do it.
Nope.
Sue SeaWorld? That's the ticket. Let's do that one.
That's an interesting angle.
Let's do SeaWorld.
They
just started getting litigious.
Yeah. I mean, because I guess they could have done this a while ago, but, all of a sudden, things aren't going so well in that world. I don't know. That's an interesting angle to look at things from. What they are looking for is they want to terminate the licensing agreement. And that could be with what you're saying. Maybe they're thinking like, hey, we could get more money someplace else. What if we went to Hershey or something?
Get out of the deal, right? Get out of the deal with SeaWorld.
Yeah.
And then they can get a better deal somewhere else. Maybe that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. They also want to recover the unpaid royalties and seek additional compensatory and punitive damages. And they claim it's all to protect its brand and reputation going forward. So United Parks has said they deny all wrongdoing and say they will set the record straight in court. So we'll see what happens, right?
That's right. Taking it to the streets.
Yeah, but Sesame Street. But it's been a 45-year partnership, man. Like this isn't something that. So I'm surprised by this.
Yeah. I mean, do we care? Here with the enthusiasts we talked about with some of the listeners at the Coaster Radio meetup in Orlando. It's kind of an odd thing to be walking through a sea life park, a zoo-ish kind of a park with a bunch of giant roller coasters, and then round the corner, and it's a full-on kiddie park experience with Sesame Street.
Right,
like that's a toddler town kind of a thing.
Oh yeah.
And so it is this a loss? Do you care if the brand goes away?
My kids have got like 2 or 3 more years probably of enjoying that.
Okay.
So like at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, they have the Sesame Street Forest of Fun. And it's all right. It's got like 3 rides in there. It's got the Grover roller coaster, actually 4 rides. Grover roller coaster. It's got this kind of cute little flume ride that moves through like a castle area. It's got a frog hopper and one of those like spinning whirly things that go back and forth on a half pipe.
Oh, yeah.
For the kids.
Yeah,
so
like
that's
a
what
crazy
they've got.
bus or whatever.
Yeah, so, it's not as big as the one at SeaWorld Orlando, but it's a nice area for the kids. I'm assuming that if they lost the license, those rides all just stay. They just rip the theming out and put in general theming, which probably wouldn't be hard for them to do.
General theming, sir. No, I think it could be anything, right? And we're gonna talk about some other kiddie lanes here coming up in a little bit. So, I don't know. It's really interesting to me. It does seem strange that all of this comes up all at once from Sesame, and I am a little bit confused about, paying back the royalties and things like that. Like if they just literally weren't paying their bills, this is a legit lawsuit, obviously. But then it seems frivolous to go on top of all of that and say, because you closed a park or because you canceled plans, you've damaged our reputation and brand. Like people's, are they saying their audience's feelings were hurt, and they don't like Sesame Street because they thought a park was opening and then it didn't? Like that doesn't make any sense. That seems frivolous.
Yeah. And if you have a bad time at the Sesame Land at one of these parks, do you blame Big Bird and those people? No, you blame the park. So I don't know about all that. Yeah. But it's an interesting lawsuit and we will find out what happens, man. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing like how that goes.
Yeah, and maybe we'll get some new kiddie land theming.
Yeah, maybe.
At the United Parks. Yeah, right.
Sure.
All right, let's keep talking about some other parks with Quick Hits.
Quick Hits.
I always like to go to Funland in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. The cool thing that if you live in the Mid-Atlantic and you go to the beaches in Maryland, there are a bunch of beaches you can hit very easily just by driving up and down the highway. Yes. You can get to Ocean City, Maryland. You can get to Dewey Beach. You can get to Bethany Beach. You can get to Rehoboth Beach really easily. And it's got a whole bunch of different things, different feels, too. It's like you're kind of going to different parks almost. It's got that type of thing. I love going to Rehoboth Beach and their smaller boardwalk because at the end of it, there's this place called Funland. And it is a family-run amusement park right there on the boardwalk. It doesn't have a roller coaster or anything like that, but just a bunch of flats. But the thing that they do have is a 45-year-old dark ride called the Haunted Mansion. And what makes this interesting, and I can't remember if you've ridden this, EB, but it is not a dark ride that is just like a pretzel on the ground. It's not one of those type things. It's actually a suspended dark ride where the cars are actually suspended from the ceiling, and it's very much like Peter Pan at Disney World and Disneyland, that type of thing.
Yeah, or like the dark ride that's coming to SeaWorld Orlando, right? Where it's a single rail track and then it hangs down and you're in a little pod. And of course, if you think about how a classic boardwalk style dark ride haunted house, the gags and things like that. You can just imagine how you can really come up with some new gags if you don't have to be on the floor. And this park and this haunt does do that sort of stuff. But Mike, we're talking about this because they've announced they're shutting this classic dark ride down.
Yes.
But they're going to be taking very, very good care of it and opening it up again next year.
Yeah. Because after 45 years, it's at the end of its service life. And there's a really great video from the park itself that shows a lot of behind the scenes footage, but also interviews with the people, the third and fourth generation people who run this park, and also the multi-generational team of people who built the original and are now building the second one too. So what they're going to do is run it through this season, so you can still go and experience it this year, but then they will be basically ripping it out and building a new one in 2027, and it'll be ready for 2028.
Right. So. And this video that you linked here and shared with me, I hope we can share this with the audience so they can see it too.
Yeah.
This is the way that you handle a classic beloved ride getting torn out and refurbished and replaced, is by making a video like this, because it literally shows the guy, like we're talking like 80-year-old men.
Yeah.
Talking about how they built this ride, how they designed this ride, how important this ride is to them. And they're like banging on, yep, time for this to go.
That's right. That's
I built this nigh on 45 years ago, but only me and 3 other fellas know how to fix it. So it's about time. So, you get buy-in from those guys in this video. And then, like you said, Mike, the owners of the park, it literally goes through like second generation owner, third generation owner, fourth generation owner, and all of them talking about how very important it is to preserve the legacy of this ride in the new iteration that they're putting in. So this is such a great case study for how to handle the public relations when doing something like this. I feel like is this video. It's just wonderful. And of course, I love a classic dark ride. I think a lot of listeners, this is some of the best theming that you see in the old timey parks is in the haunts.
Oh, so good. So good.
Yeah. So this is going to be great. I can't wait to see what it is. You do see a little bit of them doing some concept art and drawing some things up. Who knows if that's actually what's going into this ride or not. But if it's going to be an updated version of a classic dark ride, I'm excited to see how they pull that off and what that looks like.
Yeah. So I'm going to be going to that area.
Oh, great.
In June. And so I will try my best. I'll see, like, they seem to be pretty open about, doing interviews and stuff. Let me see if I can get up there and maybe do an interview with one of those old guys who actually runs a thing. I think that would be fun to actually, I'll show up early, like at 6 a.m. with those guys and walk through it, and they can maybe show us some things before they tear it down, and then we'll go back and see it when it's the new one. I think that'd be fun.
Oh, that'd be super fun if you can pull that off. And maybe I'll have to do a summer trip to the Eastern Shore, and I'd love to join you on that. Especially when you do a walkthrough, and it's like, well, going to take this guy, mummy out. Why don't you take him home? Take him home. Take that mummy with you.
Here, let me help you load it in your car. Here you go.
There you go, right?
I could go through the HOV 3 lanes, like with the mummy sitting next to me. Like,
with the mummy.
Yeah.
Or that woman that gets sawed in half.
Yeah, she could sit there too. Yeah, I could go through the whole thing and just...
I don't know if that dark ride has a woman getting sawed in half. The Ocean City one, I think, does. The Ocean City, Maryland.
Yes, that one
does have the lady getting sawed in half. It's a bit more gory.
Yeah, so
that's great.
Speaking of rides,
what is this story? I saw this too.
Yes.
Is this just bad grammar? Like a non-native speaker did this? What's happening here?
I don't know what's going on, but if you go to Six Flags Over Georgia right now and you walk up to the Kid Flash Cosmic Coaster, it's standing but not operating. I don't know if that thing's ever going to operate again.
Has been for a while. I got to ride it. It was stupid and dumb and it broke down while I was waiting in line.
Yeah. So, like, that's probably not coming back, right? I think that's done. But Six Flags, instead of just putting a sign out in front of it that says closed or closed permanently or anything, the sign says this attraction is no longer offered as part of the Six Flags Over Georgia ride package. Like, what?
Now you already gave an example of an alternative sign that would work just as well. Closed.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
This one, it's like, human visitors, this attraction is no longer offered as a part of the Six Flags Over Georgia ride package.
Yeah, what?
It's like this is the Coneheads made this sign. I don't know.
Because then what it makes you think is like, well, wait, what ride package do I need to be able to ride everything?
Like, I didn't realize there was a ride package. Is that a different way of saying park?
Yeah, exactly. Or are you going to show
Would you
up
like
and be
to
like,
go to the amusement package? We will park our vehicle
right?
and walk up.
It's weird. It's just a weird sign. It makes no sense at all. So I don't
They're
know.
offering attractions at the ride package in Georgia.
Right. But doesn't it make you think, like, are there other rides that I can't get on because of my ticket, my special ticket that doesn't get me there?
What's the package? I don't know what the package is.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know. We will see.
What's in the box?
Yeah. What's in the box?
Not Kid Flash.
Yeah, not this time. Yeah.
I don't understand that side. I love it.
Yeah. Here's another roller coaster story. People have seen pieces of the Ragin' Cajun, the Wild Mouse roller coaster from Six Flags America, moving down the highway, heading towards New Jersey, or at least it's flying through New Jersey.
Yeah, so I forget what highway this was spotted on, 295, I think, maybe up near Jersey. So is this going to go to Six Flags Great Adventure in that new boardwalk area that they're building out? That seems like a logical place for this. And I know we talked about it when we talked about Raging Cajun getting boxed up down at Six Flags America, the park that just closed in Maryland. I think that's exactly what's happening here.
That makes perfect sense. Because remember, they were talking about new rides, but we were like, well, they haven't announced anything.
And why would you announce a 30-year-old wild mouse that's getting relocated from your closed park? No, you just kind of plunk it down. Just do it.
Yeah. And remember, you said that's small enough that could be plunked down anywhere. And we talked about a couple weeks ago how they had just removed some rides that were kind of flat. So there you go. Boom. Plop it in. New ride. Everybody there is happy. So why not?
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Good idea. Yeah. I'm surprised more rides from that park haven't moved. There was some video of these three dudes doing the urban exploring already, like walking through the backwoods and getting into Six Flags America in the daytime at night. And in the first video, they take off because there are helicopters overhead and sirens of people coming.
No.
Yeah, you got to find that video. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, they're walking through the park and everything looks kind of like it could open again. You know, it's all there. So. Except for the Raging Cajun. I guess that's the only thing that's been removed. So anyway, go check that out. Last quick hit is the show Bluey, which is a huge hit in my household.
Yeah.
Bluey seems to be constantly on, just on repeat. And that's, of course, what is it, like Australian television? That's where that was produced.
And are you a fan of Bluey? I know a lot of parents are fans of Bluey. I love Bluey myself. My kids are obviously much too old for Bluey at this point, but I'm still a dad. And I like Bluey a lot. You like it?
I like it a lot. I like it a lot. There's a lot that's for adults. You know, like a lot goes over the kids' heads, but
not in a crude, crass way, right?
No.
When you say that, it's not like Shrek, you know, where there's adult humor. No, there's like poignant adult messaging. That's actually really great if you haven't seen Bluey. But yeah, we're talking about Sesame Place. There's, I guess, 3 Bluey things happening this year. Bluey's finally coming to the parks and coming in a major way, coming in strong.
Yeah, so let's see. Starting on March 22nd at Disneyland, they have an experience called Bluey's Best Day Ever. And it's not a ride. It's kind of an interactive, kid-driven experience. They're going to have interactive play areas, games like Keepy Uppy. So if you watch Bluey, you know what that is. And immersive environments themed to Bluey's world. So that's coming to Disneyland first. That's the first thing.
Yeah, like interactive games and things like that. And of course, walk around characters.
Yeah. And then I think pretty soon the next thing that will happen is at Alton Towers, Bluey, the roller coaster, like it's a roller coaster ride based on Bluey. Will open. That's coming pretty soon, right? That's like in late March.
Before the end of the month. Yeah, at Alton Towers, they announced this a while ago. It's going to be themed to grannies. So again, if you've seen Bluey, when Bingo and Bluey like to pretend to be the little old ladies. Oh, Rita, which is pretty great that they're theming a roller coaster after that.
I love it.
And I guess there is a little bit of a themed area that's around it as well. So that's cool to actually see that. I will say, before we move on, things like this Bluey roller coaster, I get so much AI generated slop on my Facebook feed now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get this, like I get a ton of this stuff where it'll be the new Bluey roller coaster is coming to Alton Towers, and it'll have a picture that is just completely made up by AI and makes no sense whatsoever. I saw one the other day. It was retracking the beast at Kings Island. And it was like, what? And I suppose the point of it is to like enrage me to then like, this is AI slop and I'm commenting on this. And it's like, no, I'm not going to engage.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the point of this is. And then I'm guessing that like half the people commenting are also AI bots commenting on the AI bot. Facebook is a wasteland, Mike. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
It's a wasteland.
In the last 2 or 3 years, it has gone so far downhill that like when I don't open it that much anymore, but when I do, I don't see anything from people I know. I'm seeing random crap that I did not sign up for. Like for some reason, I don't know why, I'm seeing Disney bounding on my Facebook constantly, and I keep going in and saying, I do not want to see this, stop. But like I keep seeing Disney bounding. And do you know what that is?
No.
Like, it's Disney
adults.
Adults.
It could be creepy. Is this adult humor?
It is a little creepy, and I apologize. There are probably some of you out there who do it, so I don't judge you. But or maybe I do. But it's people who dress as Disney characters, but not like they dress in it by the clothes they wear. So like you might be Disney bounding as Peter Pan, and you would wear a green suit, and you're like, oh, I'm Disney bounding as Peter Pan.
Oh, okay. So I would just wear baggy pants and an orange shirt and a green vest and a dumb hat, and I'd go, oh, so goofy.
Yeah, but it's nothing but these women and some dudes like look at my outfit, and like everyone just commenting on, oh, it's great, and that's fine. But like I'm not interested.
That's all of your Facebook feed right now.
I don't want it. I don't want to see it.
I don't want this AI slop. I don't want this AI garbage. Like I don't mind Facebook suggesting me stuff. I don't have any friends on Facebook on purpose. Like I barely use Facebook at all. I think I use it to look for Saab convertibles that are for sale. Yeah, it's the AI garbage. Anyway, so Alton Towers, Bluey the Ride, it is a real thing. It is not just AI slop that's appearing on your Facebook feed. Yeah. That's fun. Yeah. And then we now have an opening date for Florida's Disney World Resort is getting their Bluey's Wild World, which is coming to Animal Kingdom. And this looks very much like Best Day Ever, right? Except it's Animal Kingdom, so they're calling it Wild World.
Yeah, and it's that thing where you get onto the train, and it used to take you to Rafiki's Planet Watch. I guess that's maybe still there. But you actually take a train to this area, which is kind of cool.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they're going to have like a play and dance experience with Bluey and Bingo. They're going to have a jumping junction section that has Australian animals. So, cool. That works. That's a good place for those guys at Animal Kingdom. I like that.
Now, is Peppa Pig still at your house, or is Bluey supplanted Peppa Pig as the walking animal of choice?
Yeah, Bluey and Bingo are the talking animals of choice. Peppa Pig will come back every now and then. But yeah, I think if the girls had a choice of where they would want to go, they would go to a Bluey attraction before a Peppa Pig at the moment. But I think Peppa's still in the running. Still in the running. Yeah.
Would not be disappointed going to see, more splashy puddles and daddy pigs.
That's right. Still good. Yeah, I think that if we went
to what is it? Puddles?
Oh, so, muddy puddles, right? Yeah.
Muddy
splashy.
puddles.
Yeah,
Okay.
muddy puddles, yeah. So. Okay. It's been a long time since Daddy Pig was on the show. We had to bring him back at some point to
I think Daddy Pig's a bit more adult humor, I feel like, than Bluey anyway. Daddy Pig's got a lot more space to explore.
That's right.
Character-wise.
That's right.
Well, we're going to take a break here, Mike, in just a bit, and we're going to talk about our Disney trip. We actually did get to Disney World Resort in Florida, got to 2 parks, Epcot and the Magic Kingdom. Do we want to talk about next week's show? We run out of Orlando park story, so next week we're doing listener questions. I think that's a great way to move on from our quadrilogy.
Yeah, we usually do this right around this time of year before all the parks start opening. We open up the mailbag and all our social media and basically do sometimes 1, but sometimes 2 shows based on how many questions we get. We try to answer them all, but answering questions from you guys about anything. It could be about theme parks and thrill rides, but it could be about pop culture. It could be about the podcast. It could be about me and EB. It could be about anything, really. And we try to answer every single question that comes in. So sometimes it takes a couple shows to get through all those. We love it when the questions are interesting or ones that we haven't answered before. Sometimes people send in the question like, what's your favorite roller coaster? And
that's fine. We'll answer it.
Yeah, we'll answer it, but
come on, try better.
Yeah,
do better.
You got to try a little harder. but we'll answer whatever you've got. And it usually leads to some pretty good conversation because you guys always have great questions and interesting, makes us think about things that we haven't thought about before.
That's right. And there's lots of ways that you can get in touch with us. You can send us an email, feedback at Coaster Radio. You can send it to us via social media. That's at Coaster Radio, all the social medias. You also have the Discord for folks who are on Patreon. But of course, if you want to get to the front of the line, write your question on a $20 bill and send it to the P.O. Box.
Yes.
CoasterRadio.com, P.O. Box 3399, Bloomington, Indiana, 47402. We haven't gotten much in the old P.O. Box lately, Mike, so send us some stuff, everybody.
Yeah. You think EB's joking, but he's not. If you
please do.
You write it on a $20 bill and send it, you're right at the front of the line.
Question.
Yeah. And that goes for everything. Anything you want. Anything you want here at the show.
Anything you want, write it on a $20 bill. We'll make your dreams come true.
Exactly. Anything's possible here at Coaster
I wish
Radio.
Daddy would come home. I'll mail it to Coaster Radio. No, I'm not Santa Claus.
We'll make it happen. Don't worry. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we've got some new credits to talk about, some action, the park hopping we're going to talk about. Lots, EB. Lots to talk about as we hit up a day at Disney, and I think it surprised us all. So we'll talk about that right after this.
This is Coaster Radio. Welcome back to the original theme park podcast, Coaster Radio. Here are your hosts, Mike Collins and EB.
Welcome back, everybody, to the original theme park podcast. You are listening to Coaster Radio. My name is Mike. I am here with EB. Like EB was talking about at the top of the show, we spent 4 or 5 days in Orlando. And of course, the reason was for the big Coaster Radio meetup that we had at SeaWorld Orlando. Originally, I think you and I were talking about doing that day at SeaWorld, but then doing a day at Epic Universe and that being it. Mm-hmm. But then it actually kind of like expanded a little bit thanks to friends of the show. And thanks to our friends Eric and Emma, we were actually able to do a day not only at Epcot, but also at the Magic Kingdom, too. We were actually able to do a little bit of park hopping. So that's what we're going to tell you about now, the fourth and final day of our Orlando trip that kicked off going to Epcot.
That's right. Now, I had expected, because I had already planned on staying a couple of days after the meetup, and I was anticipating that this would be the day I would get to go to the fun spots. And I think that's kind of what I was planning on doing. And then, of course, we got the invite from our pals, our listeners who got a reservation at the Beacon Barrel. And that kind of took over any plans to go anywhere else. We were going to Disney because we had reservations now for Beacon Barrel, the new pirate-themed bar that's over by Pirates of the Caribbean. And then, of course, that led us to Erica and Emma. You said that you wanted to get over to Epcot to ride Guardians of the Galaxy, so that set the agenda for the day, Mike. We started with Epcot.
Yeah, because even friends of mine who have no interest in roller coasters and stuff, whenever they find out that I do a theme park podcast, it seems like they always say the same thing. Have you been on Guardians of the Galaxy? Have you been on Guardians of the Galaxy? And like, I've always felt so dumb saying, no, I haven't been on it. I haven't been
always with any of the top rides. You always feel dumb not having ridden it. So this is great. This was a great way for us to get credits that we needed.
Yes. So from Universal, where I was staying, I hopped into an Uber or a Lyft, actually. I was using Lyft on this trip. So hopped in a Lyft and headed down I-4 to Epcot and was really excited when I saw Spaceship Earth off in the distance because it had been a while since I had been to Epcot. I think it had been at least like 5 or 6 years maybe. And so I was excited to pull into the lot there. And I know that you were doing the same thing. You were like heading that way from your Airbnb. And we were going to meet up there with Eric, who was going to use, I guess, like cast member tickets to get us in. And the whole plan was to rope drop Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, and I think we just about did because I got there first and then you guys caught up. I have not been to Epcot since and Disney World at all since 1992.
Oh, wow.
I think, when I was there and it was like the era of, I think the Ninja Turtles and Roger Rabbit were there.
Oh, yeah.
Back then. So I was trying to like get the memories back as we were walking into Epcot. And I was like, I think I remember this. And so I was having some recall that was happening. We'll talk about when we get over to Magic Kingdom, though, because it was a totally different experience over there.
Yeah.
But we did indeed rope drop Guardians. We went right for it, and there wasn't too much of a line. The queue line was fun. I don't know how much I enjoy the Guardians of the Galaxy as in the Marvel universe and things like that. But
yeah,
it was great, right?
I was really impressed. Well, first, I was impressed that the line kept moving. That was pretty great.
Yes.
Yeah. How long did we wait? Like 45 minutes for the whole thing, probably.
Yeah, and we
maybe.
talked about how at Universal you don't oftentimes you don't go into big rooms that have long queues that are switching back and forth and back and forth. This one had a little bit of that, Mike.
A little
you
bit.
did go into a room and you did go back and forth, or you like spiraled around some centerpiece, but at least there was always something to look at or some video loop that was playing. So it was just fine going through this.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool to like hear the story of the ride as you went through, and they were.
Can you recall the story of the ride?
I really can't.
Something about space, and there's like somebody coming, and you've got a something. Like I don't even know.
I think that you were there. Let me see if I can do it. I can try. Okay. Like it didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. But I think from what I gathered from just moving through is that was it Xandar, like the planet Xandar, and it had done an exhibit at Epcot. And you were walking through seeing their technology.
You were literally at Epcot walking through an exhibit from this other planet, and then they were going to bring us to Xandar?
I think
for a reason?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I don't know. I just know at one point you end up in this big room with Terry Crews and what's her name? The actress from Fatal Attraction, Glenn Close. Glenn Close are up there. And something went wrong. I don't really understand what went wrong. Something like, oh no, we're gonna have to. Oh no, some dude showed up, like this big robot dude showed up, and he's like, I'm going to end rock and roll. I think that's what it was. I don't know. The most interesting part to me is they brought us into this room and they did the old Star Trek trick from Las Vegas. From Star Trek The Experience, right?
This was a huge surprise to me. I had no idea that this was coming on this ride. So you go through the queue line and you're getting some of the story. And for whatever reason, they're like, we're going to transport you from Earth to Xandar. And Terry Crews is going to do it. And how Terry Crews is like an alien, but we also have a Terry Crews here on Earth. So
right.
Do they just happen to look the same? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're in a room. How many people in that room? 50, right? It's a big room, maybe 20 feet across in a circle.
It might have been 100. It might have been double that. Yeah, it was a lot of people in that room.
Mm-hmm. And the lights flash, the lights go out, the lights come back on, and you're in a different place.
Yes. Yeah.
A great, great effect. Just like the Star Trek experience in Las Vegas, where you really are zapped to a totally different location. Of course, the gag, the way it works is the walls either drop or go up into the ceiling within those 2 seconds that the lights are out, right? That's how it works.
Yeah.
But it worked. It worked really well. And not knowing that was a part of the queue, super effective and really fun.
Yeah, that was really fun. This is one of those rides, just like some of the ones at Epic Universe, where I purposely didn't look at too much before riding it. So that was a surprise to me. That was fun. I think I'd have to go through the queue a couple times to really understand the story. But from what I understood, the Guardians of the Galaxy were going to try to defeat this big robot character, and we were out there in spaceships going through portals. And there was something where they took you away from Epcot, but then transported you back to Epcot at the end of the ride, and I appreciated that. But
and it was one of these, when they have a story like this where they have to make up an excuse for you to get in a roller coaster, right? And it's the pre-show is, something terrible's happening. Oh my gosh, something's horrible happening. Get out of here quick. There's an emergency. Hurry.
Yeah. Yes,
and then you go into the room and you quietly wait for another 20 minutes.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Oh,
and
wait.
It's like, oh, okay.
Wait,
I guess I was in a hurry and in a really dangerous situation, but now I just wait 20 minutes and then you wait in another queue. And then when you get on the roller coaster, it's back to, all right, we got to get out of here. Hurry up. It's like, I was just hanging out for 20 minutes over here.
Yeah. And even the people putting you into the spaceship are like, yeah, okay. How many? 2.
All right,
go to row 3. Yeah.
Emergency transport because the giant robot's coming. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but then as soon as you get on that ride,
Once you're back into the storyline, the ride worked great. I thought it was super effective. You go through star fields and stuff. It's a giant indoor roller coaster. Some of the screens were kind of weird. The star field I felt like was really, really good because not only are there, I'm assuming, LED panels of some sort all over the place, but they're also projecting white stars all over everything, including the tracks that are inside this building. So you can kind of still see where you're going on like Space Mountain. I just thought it was so much fun and a nice long ride too.
Oh yeah,
even though we didn't know what was going on.
And it was great. The on-ride audio was cool. I like that. From what I understand, like it changes tracks every time, and it's always like
songs,
an 80s song. That's pretty cool. That ferret is talking to you the whole time. The one who's voiced by
Raccoon, but okay.
Yeah, Raccoon. I thought he was a ferret. All right. Yeah. So the raccoon is talking to you, and I don't know what he's saying, but it's kind of fun. But I appreciated the roller coaster aspect of it. Like it was really cool. It was a spinning ride, but like it was controlled spin, and it did it just the right way. And I sometimes wonder, just like with Space Mountain or some of these other dark roller coasters, would it be less thrilling with the lights on? I don't know, but I was impressed that the ride kept going and going, and with the music playing and stuff, it was fun, man. It was a really fun roller coaster. I understand why people like it so much. I understand why it's one of the most popular rides at the resort and why there's always a line for it, because it was fun. I would love to do that a bunch of times, sitting in different seats and trying different things
and different songs.
Yeah, and different songs. Right? Which one did we get? It was
One Way.
Another. Yeah, it was good.
Don't sing too much, or YouTube will flag us.
I know, right? Yeah, they will.
No, it was super fun. It was super fun, and I really thought that the lighting effects worked really, really well. I thought the screens were fine. When you have screens that are sporadic like that, you can oftentimes see the edges of the screen, and it's like, okay, now I'm going to look at a screen for a little bit. It wasn't that bad. I felt like but it was a really long ride, and even though you were in the dark, I never felt like I was getting jerked around. Right. Thinking about like a Flight of Fear, some other, powerful, intense roller coaster that's in the dark, you kind of getting slammed and you can't anticipate. This was just, I'm just zipping around in space. It's a good time.
It was fun. It was just cool. It was cool. And again, you don't need to know those characters or the story. It's just a fun enough roller coaster. And
Terry Crews and the Ferret, my favorite ride.
That's right. That ferret, man. He seemed very angry. I haven't seen those movies, but I'm like, that's an angry ferret over there. I don't know what he's so upset about. Yeah, but anyway. Bradley Cooper, I think.
There you go. That's
why I know that Bradley Cooper does the voice, but I don't know that it's a raccoon. That's a story for another time, I think.
That's fine.
Yes. I appreciated that this was your first trip to Epcot since the 90s because everything was new.
Just about.
Even a ride like Test Track that I was excited to get on because it's the third generation. For you, it was your first time ever even walking up to that ride. So I'm excited to hear your thoughts about that ride.
And I barely knew anything about this. I knew that Test Track was something to, and I don't know which iteration of Test Track I'm remembering, but you went to a kiosk and like designed a car and then you got to test drive the car. And depending on what you picked, it would have some sort of different experience or something like that. That's really all I knew. So getting on this and then riding it, I thought it had such a great mix of that weird classic Disney, like, and now we're going to tour you through all of these things. And it's like an exhibit. It had a nice mix of that and actually being a fun, thrilling ride. The gags and the effects were kind of fun. My favorite part, though, was the fact that you're in a car driving on a road and they use the backlot as a part of the theme.
Yes, right.
Like that is not something that happens at Disney or Universal because they want to so tightly control the storyline of what you're experiencing. And so they want to keep you within the theming. But because the theme is, this is a test vehicle at a facility that tests vehicles, going outdoors and seeing like trucks unloading supplies in a parking lot fits. It's great.
Totally okay. Yeah. I love that too. I've always loved that's all right. That you really do go to the backstage area and they don't hide it. You're just seeing it. So I liked it. I liked the new version of it. I think the original version is always the best. The second one needed a lot of help. This one kind of bridged both, I think, a little bit.
Briefly explain the first two, because you've ridden all of them, yes?
Yeah, and let me see. I just remember the first one being a true test track experience. Like they really took you through as if you were a crash test dummy sitting in the car.
And it was themed crash test dummies, because
Yes.
crash test dummies were like a thing for a little while in the 90s.
Yeah. And they actually had, I think, character, like crash test dummy.
The walk around dummies. Yeah.
Walking around. Yeah. So it was really like, we're going to test the anti-lock brakes now. And here we go. And they zoom at, 40 miles an hour and hit the brakes. We're going to send you through the corrosion test, and they split water at you, all that type of stuff. Here comes the crash test barrier test, and they zoom you towards a wall, and the wall opens and then goes outside into that big loop where you hit 65 miles an hour. So that was the original. The second one was kind of like going into Tron. That's the best way I can describe it. Like it was very digital, and it was all like the information superhighway, and as it relates to cars and stuff. So it didn't make much sense at all. Then this third one kind of bridged those a little bit, I think, because it still talked about automotive safety and, building a car and stuff, but also talking about how it relates to today's world.
Oh, and technology, and it talked about like the LiDAR and the radar and scanning and everything and all that stuff. So automated driving. Okay, cool. Yeah. No, I thought it was neat. And then of course you exit into the GM showroom and see the Corvette.
Now, I did not tell you this story after it happened because I wanted to save it for this time. But we of course went through the single rider line because it was a long wait. I think it was already up at 45 minutes to an hour, but the single rider line there will get you on it in 10 minutes or so. So you, me, and Eric were waiting in that line. Joe, who was there for the meetup, actually texted Eric and said he was in the park, so he came into the single rider line and waited with us. Like I said, we got up there in like 5 or 10 minutes. It was pretty good.
Quick.
I think you and Eric went first. Joe went third, and then I was just waiting to be called. I get called and get put into the front row with this other family. And so there is a mom and daughter in the back, and there's a dad and his son and waiting for the front.
Yeah,
and then I get
two
put
rows
into,
of 3.
Yes, that's right. So I get put into the front row, and this lady shoots me this look, like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And she's looking, and she leans over to her husband, and she's like, "I'm so sorry. I told them we didn't want to ride with anybody." And so I was looking down at my phone at this point, and so I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "Lady, I can hear you. Like, what are you talking about?" And I sort of looked up. And she's like whispering, but he does not react. He's just kind of in like this Zen mode. Like he's not, he's listening, but he's like, something else is going on. And so it really made me uncomfortable.
Oh,
like I was
no.
like, what's happening? And already,
okay.
Yeah. If somebody says, "I really told them we didn't want to ride with anybody," like automatically that just throws you off because you're like, well, I don't want to be here then. I
don't want to upset somebody like with my presence. That just
Yeah.
makes me, oh my gosh, that's awful.
It was awful. So then they sent another single rider to ride in the back with her. And I don't know what changed with this lady, but then she started talking to this lady. She's like, "Oh my God, we're so excited to be here. My husband has wanted to ride this ride ever since he was 7 years old, and this is his moment. He's been looking forward to this ride as the only ride he wanted to get on our entire trip. This is such a big moment for him." And so now I'm getting it, and I'm like, oh, all right. Because the dude, I can tell, is getting emotional. And so I'm like, now I'm really uncomfortable because I don't want to ride on this guy's emotional ride.
You're ruining his ride experience.
Yes. Yeah. So at one point I'm thinking, do I bail? Do I just bail and say, I don't need to ride this? Like I've been on it before, but then I'm like, no, I got to see it through because of this moment here at Coaster Radio to talk about it. So I almost walked back to like where they were loading people, but then like they were already moving other people through, and it was just so I said, all right, I'm just going to stick this out, but I'm going to be quiet and let this guy have his moment. So anyway, our car comes up. He gets into the car. He's sitting in the center. His son's sitting to the left. I'm sitting to the right. The lady's behind, and she's like, "Here we go, honey. This is the moment you've been waiting for."
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm kind of smiling at this point and trying not to laugh because, like, all right, I'm a wall hugger. I've gotten emotional at rides too, but not Test Track. Test Track is not a ride you get emotional over. Come on.
Is he like Mr. Test Track? Like, did he invent it, or is he like? I mean, I don't want to be rude or anything like that, but does he have some sort of like autistic like fascination with this attraction?
So
what about that lady who fell in love with the amusement park ride? Maybe he was in love with it.
You know what? I am not poking fun at all. I thought maybe he might be a little autistic, maybe, because he did not react to anything around him, and was not talking to his son, was not talking to the wife. He was just in this moment. So he sat down in the thing, and we went up, and you go to that area where they stop you to check your seatbelts. Everybody checks their seatbelts, and the ride takes off. And he starts like putting his hands in the air, and he did not take his hands down. Yes. It was just like, it was a Zen moment for this guy. Like he was so excited.
Like he thought the aliens were going to take him up into heaven on his test track. He's raising his arms up to the lights.
Yes, it was. I'd not seen anything like this ever. Now, I've gotten emotional on rides before. Like when I went to Disneyland for the first time and rode the Matterhorn, that was something I had thought about since I was a kid. And so I remember not crying or not like putting my hands up and not talking to anybody, but I remember feeling
Please, I need
inside.
to ride by myself. This is a special time for me.
No, yeah.
I need to put my hands up.
Yeah. But this guy loved this ride, and it made me happy. I was just sitting there with a smile on my face because this guy was he didn't say anything. He didn't yell as we went out on the thing.
Maybe it was like some sort of like beautiful emotional thing. Like,
I don't know.
His best friend designed the track and was murdered by a car.
Maybe. But then it made sense to me why the lady was
I
told them.
the original blue test track dummy.
Yeah.
And I finally returned and come home.
Maybe. It made me feel better, though, why the lady did not want me there. And so, because she did. Now, I wish she had just come to me and said, "Sir, would you mind waiting for the next one?" That I would have appreciated that a lot more, instead of, because the whole ride for me was kind of like, oh, I really don't want to be. I don't want to be on this car. Like, I want this guy to have his moment. This lady does not want me there. So yeah. But anyway, he got off, and I didn't say anything, but he seemed to be happy, and that was his moment. So I was happy for him, and yeah, it just goes to show you like how this experience and going to parks can mean different things to different people, and it means a lot.
I'm so curious about why that happened.
Me too.
That's great. I love that.
I'd love to know more about that story and why that ride, but
it sounds like we're setting up a character bit, but no, I think he was a character all himself.
Really happened. So let's see. So a couple of things were happening here. First off, Eric's wife Emma had gotten us a really hard to get reservation at the Geo 82 Lounge.
This is the special like Club 33 level VIP lounge. But now it's open to the public, right?
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a second. So we had time before we met up with her to go to this lounge. So we had like 30 minutes or something. And there was a 5-minute wait for Soarin'.
Great.
Which never happens. So we figured since we wanted to stay on that side of the park, we'd go over to Soarin'. We rode that. And that was my first time riding Soarin' around the world. It was cool. It was good. We did ask to sit in the front row so that we could rise all the way to the top and not have feet in our face. That was good. Good ride. Yeah, I mean, you and I have been on Soarin' before at California Adventure, and I've been on it at Epcot before. So, it is what it is.
You're a fan of Soarin', and a lot of people love Soarin'. It does not do it for me.
No, you don't like it?
It really doesn't. No. That's fine.
I like Soarin' over California better. Only because there are more scents. It's a little more immersive, I guess. But maybe the scents weren't working on this. I don't know, but I didn't feel any of or smell any of the same things as I did, on the other one. So anyway,
Soarin'
but cool ride.
Soarin'.
Yeah, Soarin' is Soarin'. It's great. A classic that you do have to ride if you go to Epcot.
And what's the name of that building that we were in? The building that you go through to get to Soarin'? Because I thought
the land.
Yeah, I love that building because there's so much of old Epcot that's still around.
Yep,
and it just feels like you're walking into an 80s shopping mall. Right? Like I love some of the architecture and some of the design in some of the parts of Epcot, especially up at the front of the park like this. I could have just hung out and lived in that building.
Yeah, it's one of the few original Epcot things left. I mean, of course, World Showcase has a lot of the original stuff still, but like in terms of like what they used to call Future World, very little left. And this was my first time being back at Epcot since all the construction walls had come down.
Oh, good. Okay.
And I mean, I don't know, man. They took out so much of that original charm. It just looks so much like an Apple store now.
Yeah.
Or like a mall. I don't know, man. I'm not,
We
I was
did
not
see a lot-
feeling the vibe
yeah.
at all.
Yeah, and I can see why that they would want to just leave a little bits here and there for people to find and enjoy, like the land. But I can understand why they don't want the whole park to be like that.
Yeah.
Right, as fun as it would be. But yeah, you got to take that stuff out.
Yeah. So then it was time to go meet up with Eric's wife, Emma, who was waiting closer to Spaceship Earth. And so we met up with her, and it was great to see her because we had met her at the Busch Gardens meetup before. So it was fantastic to see her. And she actually works at various places over the years. I think she said she's been there for 11 years or something. So she has a ton of stories about just working, in different places. It was great. But yes, she got these really hard to get reservations at the GO82 Lounge, which it's really cool. You'll have to help me describe this. You enter it from the exit of Spaceship Earth. So actually to get into it, we actually had to go into the unload area of Spaceship Earth to take this elevator up to the top.
Yeah, and so you do check in, you take a little elevator up, and when you go in, it's a fairly small establishment. It's very fancy. Everybody's dressed very fancy. It's black and white and gold inside. The one wall looks like the exterior of Spaceship Earth, the ball at Epcot.
Yeah.
It's not really attached to the side of the ball, but it makes you feel like you are.
Yep, absolutely, yep.
And then you sit down in this wonderful, beautiful, very fancy bar lounge, and you have a drink, and it's just fantastic and lovely, and no kids allowed.
Exactly. That's the other thing too. Yeah, no kids around. And there were just cool decor. As you walk in, there are all of these great photographs on the wall that harken back to the original Epcot. And man, I enjoyed it. I had, what was it? The brown butter old fashioned. Is that what I have? I'm looking it up right now just to make sure. Yeah, the brown butter old fashioned.
And I got some sort of espresso martini that wasn't on the menu. It was a variation of something else that was on the menu. But all of these drinks were fancy cocktails, right?
Yeah,
with complicated ingredients in a special glass with a weird ice cube and a funky garnish. And this was a lot of fun for people who like themed drinks and things like that, and nice cocktails. This was a nice experience.
Yeah, and a really cool place just to hang out. And it wasn't like going to a Disney bar like Beacon Barrel, which we would go to later. It wasn't overly themed. It was really classy, and just very
and not
kind of
crowded.
modern, not crowded too. Yeah. Right. So and also, I did not feel like they were rushing us out of there like other Disney bars where they were looking at the clock and saying you've got 45 minutes and then you're out. I really felt like this was upscale and a great place just to hang out for a little bit and talk with Eric and Emma, and Joe was there too, and it was just really nice, really nice. I really, really liked that. So that was a nice surprise because I did not. I hate to say it, I love Epcot, but I did not know about that place. That wasn't a place that I had researched or known about. So it was a nice surprise to get added onto today. So that was nice of Emma to do that.
Very, very fun. And next on our agenda, we had a reservation for Space 220.
Yes.
The restaurant where you actually get into a space elevator and shoot up to a satellite, I guess, that's flying around above the Earth. But we had some time to kill in between. I was told to go and ride Remy's Ratatouille Adventure by a friend of mine. Because that's a fun ride. And he said, if you like Mickey and Minnie's Railway, you'll probably like Ratatouille. I thought it was cute. I don't really know Ratatouille. I don't think I've ever seen the movie. I guess we were a mouse in a little mouse car and flying around the restaurant for reasons. Yeah. Other mice helped us cook some food.
Yep.
It was super cute and it was great. And it's got the theming where you're small. It was fine.
Yeah, and it was fun to use the trackless vehicles, which is great. And I think it was just a ride to show off that technology, because who knows what the storyline was. But we were moving through sets and coming up on big screens, and there were moments where the ride vehicles would turn into motion simulators a little bit, and it was fun. It was just a fun ride. It was cute. Definitely not one that I would want to wait an hour for. But
Nope.
I don't think we waited. I think we just went through the single rider line again and basically walked onto it. So
Yeah, and I loved Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and so saying that it's like that automatically made me really want to experience this ride, and being able to compare and contrast the two was super fun to be able to do. Yeah, and then we headed back to the restaurant at that point, but we still had a little bit of time before the reservation, and right there next to the restaurant is Mission Space.
Yes.
And I could tell our party at this point. I think there were 5 of us or 6 of us. We were kind of split on, do you guys want to ride Mission Space? I mean, we could if you want to. You know, when that thing first opened, it was notorious for people like getting off of it and throwing up and having, I was like, I gotta ride this thing. I did not know what this was. I'm not sure who mentioned it as we were queuing up for Mission Space, that it was a disguised spinning ride, like a centrifuge.
A centrifuge, yeah.
Yes. And so I did not know that going in, and I wondered if I would recognize that that's what the ride vehicle was if I hadn't known in advance.
Yes.
Because if you don't know Mission Space, and I knew nothing about Mission Space except it made a lot of people throw up, you get into a cramped, tiny little capsule with 2 of your buddies, 3 of your buddies?
3, yeah, so 4 total. 4 total.
Mm-hmm. And if you've ever played, what's the game, the iPhone game, where you're on the space mission and you have to like tap the buttons in order to be like keep the space mission going.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember
the game. It's like called Space Force or something like that. Anyway, you get assigned a job. You're the engineer, the commander, the navigator, whatever it is, and you have to push the buttons at the right time to make the space launch work. And you are supposed to be on the spaceship. You've got a tiny little the harness comes down, and there's a screen 6 inches in front of your face.
Yes.
You are sitting on a chair with a wall in front of your knees 6 inches away. You're cramped right next to your buddy. The door closes right next to you. You are squeezed into this tiny little space with a screen. Yep. What a weird and interesting, unique ride vehicle. That was my favorite thing. Is I've ridden a lot of rides, Mike. Never ridden anything like this before. So strange.
And the amount of buttons that you could flip and press and stuff, it was shocking. Like, it really felt like you're in like an Apollo 13 style vehicle, because there are just so many buttons that you could press, including 2 that you actually had to press during the ride, which you can talk about here in a sec. Yeah.
Yeah. So then it's okay. We're going to launch you into space. Get ready. Here we go. And again, I didn't know it was a centrifuge. You can feel the rotation a little bit as you're launching, and you have a, perspective out your little window looking up into space. But that feeling of rotation goes away really quick. And gives way to the illusion that you have G-forces acting on you as you're launching into space. I thought the effect was really, really good, really believable. Yeah. I felt like I was launching into space, and the G-forces are intense.
Yes.
Intense and sustained.
Yes.
Right? This is not just like on a roller coaster where you hit that dip in the track. This was sustained G-forces as you're launching into space. So cool.
You said something that I didn't really think about, but they have you reach up to press buttons at different parts of the ride based on what your responsibility was. If you were the captain or the navigator or, any of those things. And to lift your arm up in those intense moments of G-forces is hard. Like, you feel it. You feel that it's hard to lift your arm up and press the button.
Yeah, and I think you're kind of holding on for dear life as you're launching, and you can feel the gravity, the false gravity pushing against you, and you can even feel it in your face. Yeah. But then when they say, now you have to flip the switch and you have to reach forward, that's what really sells the effect. And it's such a brilliant ride design to get people to have to move against the force to really feel the intensity of it. I loved this ride. I thought it was super fun. My biggest complaint is just the screens aren't as crisp as they could be. If they could put in, I recognize they're very small screens because they're right in front of your face.
Yeah.
But put in some 4K screens to make it really look like a window.
Yeah.
Make it look like a window.
that ride has been there forever. So you could totally update that ride with some better screens. And I think sometimes that's what leads to some of the people getting sick, is that the screens are a little blurry. So if you could have something really sharp, that would really help.
You could really sell the illusion of launching in space if you had a clean, crisp, fake window right there. Yeah, cool.
It's not a bad ride because it's so unique. Like, where else do you go and
Super
experience
unique.
something like that, you know? And I am thankful for the fan that's blowing on you constantly, because that keeps you from losing your lunch. But hey, they've got an air sickness bag right in front of you if you do need it. So,
I've never ridden on any ride ever that actually has an air sickness, like a little paper baggie right there between your legs in case you're going to barf. I love that. So much fun.
Yeah. So it's I like it. I was in the group that was like, I don't know if I want to ride this, especially because we had just had drinks, and I was like, oh, I don't know, man. But I was like, no, you got to for EB, because I want to see your reaction
so
to
much
it,
fun.
and for right now to be able to talk about it too. So
much fun.
Yeah. So because we earned our space mission wings, it was time to literally go into space and eat at the Space 220 restaurant.
Yeah, we went up to space, we came back down to Earth, and now here we are going to go back to space again.
Yes, exactly. I was not sure whether this was going to be a success or not, because I had heard people give bad reviews to this restaurant. They said the experience of going up to the space station and coming back down is cool, but that the food was not worth it, especially for the price that they charge. And so I was worried about it, especially because I was not only bringing you, EB, but Eric and Emma were coming, and Joe came along, and I was like, oh, man, this better be good, or everybody's going to be like, why are we here? But, yeah, man, we walked in, we gave our name, they gave us a ticket, and next thing we know, we're inside this space elevator that's going to take us 220 miles above the Earth.
Yeah, and you're in a round room, that's the elevator, and you look down, and it's supposed to be a window looking down. Again, a window without the best screen. Like, come on, if you're supposed to be pretending it's a window, invest in a good screen. That's all we're asking. So you rock it up, you see Florida descending below you as you rock it up. And it's fine. It didn't really sell it to me the way that Mission Space did in any way, shape, or form. That was a little disappointing. But then you get out, and if you've ever gone to, let's say, a rotating restaurant, right on the top of a tower or a hotel or something like that, it feels a lot like that, because you're in this room that's kind of like a half circle with the bar next to the elevator in the center, and then out is the curved window looking out into outer space. You can see the curve of the Earth, and you know they had some dopey gags of like an astronaut walking a dog.
Right.
as you're floating by. But we sat down. It's a fixed menu. I think it was $55. You get an appetizer, you get a drink, and you get your entree. I think we got some spacey cocktails. And there's silly things. I mean, the waitress came up and said, "Do you guys need some space water?" So, okay, fine. Sure. Do you need a galactic mule instead of a Moscow mule? Right.
I like that.
And then it was very much like the Star Trek experience, where it's like, oh, the pizza's shaped like a triangle. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised at how good the food was. I think that they had probably heard. They had probably heard that it wasn't great, but the steak I had was really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought, in terms of the effect of looking out the windows and seeing the Earth, it was really interesting to me, because you and I got up and walked the restaurant to kind of get a sense of like what it looked like from all the different seats. And when you move to the far left or the far right of the restaurant, you can't see the Earth out the window. It's really weird. Like, even if you like tilt your head out, you just see space if you're sitting all the way on the corners of the restaurant. I thought that was weird.
Yeah, I would say it was kind of like tiered seating with maybe two rows of tables on a lower level, a mid-level, and then an upper level. And then the curved windows. How many windows were there, Mike? Maybe eight? Big windows. Yeah. Each window is probably 20 feet across and 10 feet tall at least. And we were in that middle tier, which I think is the best place to sit, because it really helped to sell the effect of being in space and looking out the window, because we could see all of the windows from where we were sitting. But when you actually walk and go down and at a table next to a window, the Earth was only in the middle 4 windows.
Yeah.
So if you were in one of the windows on the edge, your entire window was just black.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And you'd occasionally see astronaut or something. But
Right, because there was not actually an Earth miles away from the window so that, you would see it from any window. Earth was just projected onto a screen 3 feet outside of the window.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And so, even if you move your head left and right, you're not getting the motion that an Earth that's in the distance would have out a window.
Yeah.
So sitting close, the effect did not work at all. Sitting far back where we were, I thought it was fun. I thought I felt like I was up in space.
Right. And
it was cool.
It was a nice little break and good food and great conversation. It was
and
great
it was
to talk to
dark.
everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, and futuristic, and I had my space water.
Yes, yeah, space. It tasted just like Florida water, but it's all good. It's all good.
And the one thing I will say as we descend down from Space 220, the restaurant, the ride up probably took 30, 40 seconds, and you really do get the experience whoa, we're going up. This is cool, huh? We're flying up in this. The way down, it was pew!
Yeah, we rocketed down.
Y'all are done now, right?
Yeah.
You're done with all of the jokes. You're done pretending. Okay, good.
Yeah.
It was so fast in comparison to going up.
Funny. So funny. I really enjoyed that lunch. That was great. And talking with Eric and Emma and Joe, and Emma had so many great stories just about places she's worked, and just hearing about all that was fun. So it was really great. And one of my favorite parts of the whole trip. So I really enjoyed that. But then it was past 2:00, and I think after 2:00 you can park hop.
Let's go.
So we hopped into Eric's car and headed over to Magic Kingdom, rode the monorail in, and it was time for another new roller coaster credit, man. And I was excited for this one.
Yeah, we headed right back to Tron, and I'll say we'll get to the end of the night here, shortly, but moving from park to park, that's an ordeal, isn't it, Mike?
Yes, it is.
Boy, it takes a long time, and it is not easy, and it is not fun. I'll just say that this is not like walking from Disneyland to California's Adventure. This is not like you go to a Six Flags park and then decide to go to the water park. This is, how long did it take us? An hour?
When you talk about walking from Epcot
gate to gate
to the car, through the gate where the nice parking attendant told us to live our best life. Remember there?
Ride the tram to the monorail. I mean, we took, counting walking, we did 4 different ways of transportation.
Yeah. So, I mean, at least 30 minutes, but probably closer to 40 or 45. And I think poor Joe actually got caught on the monorail. He came after us. But I think he got stuck on the monorail for an hour or something. So Joe, man.
we head all the way back to Tron. Tron's got a huge line.
Yeah.
And I would say my Tron experience is broken up into 2 pieces, Mike. Outside and inside. Outside, Tron was stupid. It was dirty. It was ugly. I felt like I was in one of those inflatable tennis bubbles with the tennis court, down at the community center. And it was hot and it was crowded.
Yep.
And talk about nothing to look at and nothing to do. This was just standing on concrete on a balcony for a long time. It was dumb.
Yeah.
But then you go inside.
Oh, yeah. And I
and
just
now
got to
I'm
say,
in Tron, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. The outside, going through those switchbacks, which were just chain switchbacks, you're standing under a Tron laser, which I bet is kind of cool at night. I'm sure they do some lighting effects in that area. But here it was bad. The sun was beating down to the sun. The sun was setting. It was beating into that room. This is where Universal does it better. And I know that Universal also does switchbacks. I remember that on the Gringotts ride. If you're not doing express, you go into this area where they have I know the line was long, but still, man, it was switchback, and we were in that area for a long time before we got inside. And that's where the story really started taking off. And there was really cool Tron effects. I really appreciated it once we got into the actual building. It was great.
Yes, standing outside on the concrete with nothing to look at and no theming or anything, I did not feel like I was at a Disney or Universal park. I felt like I was at a Six Flags park.
Yeah, it really did. It was giving me Six Flags vibes for sure.
And it was dirty. And it was dirty.
Yes, it was dirty.
If you're going to make your ride white, I mean, you got to keep it clean because it looked dingy and dirty. It did not look high tech in any way, shape, or form. But once you got inside, and then you're doing like all of the black light effects and everything's glowy, and then you're getting your storyline where you got people talking to you and you got the screens out and the whole thing. There's that great effect where you're looking at a wall and then the glass becomes translucent and you're looking down at the track and you see the light cycles launch. So that was fun. Now we're having fun. Now we're getting into some Tron stuff. And then when you go down, I really like, let's call it the lobby or the loading station area where you're really kind of descending down onto these bikes. I thought that was really cool. I saw the first movie. I never saw the sequels. And I think I watched the first movie just because this roller coaster was getting built and I was like, I've never seen Tron. I thought this was so much fun. And when we were lucky enough to get assigned the front row, Mike.
Yes, that was a great treat. What a nice treat. Yeah.
I think changed the experience significantly for the better because you are supposed to be racing your light cycle through the Tron, whatever it is, right? Passing through gates is the story. You have to pass through 7 gates to win. Why would I be behind like 7 other people doing that, right? So being in the front, just like with Hiccup's wing gliders, you can ignore the fact that you're on a train and just be by yourself.
Oh yeah, and that was awesome because it really gave us the sense like you and I were just side by side racing through the whole thing.
It
was great.
You mentioned the sun was going down, and if anybody's ridden this ride, you know that you launch through the darkness and then go outdoors for the first section of the ride. Because of the way the sun was setting, that opening to the outdoors was just this blinding golden light.
It was beautiful.
It was awesome. It was so cool to fly out of the darkness and be blinded by sunlight. And then you kind of zip around over that queue line. You're like, oh, I hated that part. But then you go back inside real quick.
Yeah. And it was funny riding Guardians of the Galaxy and then riding this because you could tell it was all done in the same era of Disney attraction. Like, very similar effects. But both rides really interesting. I think Guardians is the better roller coaster, but this does live up to what it's supposed to be and really does make you feel like you are in that movie. I think if the ride was another 30 to 45 seconds longer, it would be right up there at one of the top roller coasters in Orlando.
Absolutely. No, it does. The story is that you have to race through 7 gates, and they actually do have these light up gates that you pass through as you're going through the dark ride section. You've got onboard audio the whole time as well. They're telling you, okay, here comes the next gate, and it's like, bing, and it lights up as you pass through it.
Yeah.
But boy, it was quick. This one was so quick, and it's just so much fun that it's disappointing when it's over because it is such a good roller coaster and it is so much fun. Yeah. If there was a way that they can make you go through it twice, I don't know. But it was just great. A super roller coaster. If it was longer, it would be a top 10 roller coaster for me.
It was really great. And just the trains themselves were awesome with the lights on it. I like when the restraint comes down on your back, it's got the disc that's there. That's really cool. So it's cool. It was just really cool. And so, once we got into the actual attraction itself, the fact that the queue takes you into areas where you see the light cycles launch a couple times, that's great. That was just, it was really, really,
and
really
cool.
And
the motorbike cars themselves were super comfortable for me.
Yes,
I know some people have complained, but I thought they were a great fit. You could even stand up and move around a little bit. It wasn't like clamping you down.
Right.
So you really felt like you had some freedom of movement while you were kind of zipping around on this thing.
Yeah.
So much fun. Totally different experience because it was a cycle.
Really great. And it was another one of those rides where kind of similar to Epic Universe where we had been told, oh, this ride isn't so great. So you go in with lowered expectations. But it raises them. It beat the low expectations. So
sure did.
I liked it. So I was so happy to get onto that ride. I was also happy because right after that, Eric had to say goodbye. He was heading back out. So thanks so much to Eric for getting us into those parks and Emma as well. That was so nice to be with them. And they really gave us a great day. So we appreciate them so much. But then Tom from Louisville and Chris Rankin, Kevin Wilson was there. And we all got a chance to walk on to Space Mountain, which also had kind of a short line. And it's interesting to go from Tron over to the 1970s Space Mountain, two very different experiences.
Well, here we are. This is our third space-themed dark ride roller coaster.
Yep.
And this was awful, Mike. I'm sorry, people who like Space Mountain, but this was a terrible roller coaster. I've never ridden the Space Mountain. I've been to Disney World twice, once when I was like 5 years old and once when I was 14. I've ridden Space Mountain on the West Coast. This was awful, I thought.
Yeah.
It was rough. You could not see where you were going, so you could not brace for anything that was coming at you. Mm-hmm. And it was not fun in any way, shape, or form. I know there's, is it an Alpha and Omega? There's 2 tracks.
Yep.
And to get, both credits, I was like, I don't need both credits. That's a terrible roller coaster. I don't want to ride it again.
Yeah. I've got to tell you.
Why do people love Space Mountain? Like, it's awful.
I agree with you 100% because I was shocked at how bad it was because I've been riding this ride all my life. I remember riding it in the 90s and early 2000s, and it was not like this. There was not there were so many bumps. It was painful.
Were there lights that weren't on? Like, I feel like if I could see the track, it wouldn't be so bad. But I mean, there were parts where it was almost pitch black in there.
Yeah, I was surprised. There used to be more stars. So you could at least kind of get a sense of where you were going, and you sort of, like it was dark, and some of the drops took you by surprise. But I did not. Like this past time riding this ride, I felt like I had to brace for what was coming because it was so jarring and it would hurt your back and it would hurt your ass. Like it was just like, it was not pleasant at all. And I felt so bad because I love Space Mountain. I love the Disneyland one the most, but I used to love this ride so much and I was wishing for it to be over. And I felt so bad. I was like, oh, here I am at Magic Kingdom riding Space Mountain and I'm wanting it to be over because it was just so painful. And so I don't know what they can do to fix it, but it was rough, man. It was rough.
What they can do is they can take it out and then add some more Tron track.
Yes. Just go into there.
Just zoom down and go in there instead. Yeah.
There is the 45 seconds we're looking for. Just run it, do a little outdoor section and connect it into Space Mountain. They could do that.
That's right.
They could do that, actually. That's not a bad idea.
They're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, why not? It's just another indoor box for them to keep the roller coaster going for a bit. So
yeah. Well, Tron had such a long line, and then Space Mountain, it was already starting to get into the evening. So we were like, what are we going to do? We've got the Beacon Barrel reservation that's coming up. And we've got some time to kill. What's on the priority list? Well, I'd like to get a coaster credit. So we went to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
And I was so excited for this for you because, it's a great little Vekoma family roller coaster, but it's got some fun things in it. Like it's unique, especially with the rocking cars that they have and kind of a fun queue to walk through as well. They've got some interactive elements in there.
Yeah, and I thought that was fun that we, rode some roller coasters on this trip that had some unique things that you can't find at other parks. I think if, if a Disney or a Universal is putting in a roller coaster, they're going to make sure it's something special. And this was special because it has those rocking cars. The queue line was fun. You're going into the Seven Dwarfs mine. Long wait for this one, but it was cute because you start outside, then you go inside the mine. Inside the mine, there's a couple of things you can interact with. There's some gems that light up that you can make play music. There was a spinning thing that you could do. And I forget who was in our party that knew that if you spin the gems the right way, or you spin all of them simultaneously, then the projections of each of the doors will light up for each of the gem you're spinning. But if you get all spinning simultaneously, Snow White appears.
Yes.
As a projection. But the way the queue goes around these spinning gems, it's guaranteed that your party is not going to be enough to make it happen.
Right.
You have to solicit your neighbors to do it too.
Yes.
And so we're spinning these things and we're like, you got to spin the barrel. Spin it. No, hey, buddy.
We're yelling at everybody.
I'm spinning my barrel. You got to help.
Yeah. And at one point, we're going, spin, spin, spin. And the whole crowd is just yelling, spin. Yeah. But man, they got all 7 barrels spinning, and Snow White appeared, and there was a roar.
Line applause.
Yeah. It was great. It was great. And then we moved another 30 feet from it, and people were walking around trying to figure it out. We're like, spin it, come on, spin it.
And then, we're shouting from across the mine up. Yeah, you gotta spin those barrels.
Yeah, and they did it, and the crowd erupts in applause again. So it was really good. It's fun.
It was fun. Now, the roller coaster experience itself, fantastic.
Yeah.
I thought this was a super fun one. I mean, anytime that you're on a mine train and you're going close to the scenery, it feels faster than it actually is. My big complaint: we have two types of animatronics on this attraction. At the end of the ride, you come down, you've got the animatronics that are pretty basic, right? It's a sculpted Snow White, it's a sculpted dwarf or two, and they have limited motion where they're just like,
yes. And they're the old animatronics from the old Snow White ride that
perfectly fine, perfectly serviceable, lovely, very cute, nostalgia, Disney-esque.
Yep.
The other type of animatronic is at the beginning of the ride and at the middle section of the ride, where it's that not the latest generation, but the previous generation, or maybe even the generation before that, where it's the animatronic with the rear projection face.
Yes. Yeah.
And it is executed so poorly.
Yeah. It was bad.
Shocking how bad it is. So we're there at night, so it's already dark, but you've got Dopey, one of the dwarves. Now imagine what this dwarf looks like, right? He's got 2 feet, he's got 2 hands, he's got clothes on, he's got a face, he's got a hat, and he's got ears and a nose.
Yep.
I just described what a person looks like.
Yeah.
On this podcast for everybody.
Yep.
So again, revisiting the face, ears, face, nose, hat. The ears don't light up.
No.
The nose doesn't light up.
Right.
The rear projection is only on the face part. So there's this animatronic in the dark with the face lit up like a light bulb.
It was scary.
But the nose is dark and the giant ears are dark. It's stupid looking.
Yeah.
It looks like a mistake.
Yeah, you reacted in horror. I think you were scared by it. Like,
I thought it was
what is
broken.
that?
I was like, I can't believe they're letting this run like this.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I don't know why they wouldn't just make similar ones to the end of the attraction, because it's quaint and it works.
Absolutely. You don't, they weren't even like using the rear projection to make their mouths move.
Right. Yeah.
It was like,
bad.
It was just there to make them blink.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have liked them just to gone old school with the animatronics. Like, you don't
Absolutely. They could have just had sculpted figures and like one arm is waving at you. And I would have been perfectly happy.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But still, the roller coaster itself, a ton of fun, especially that first section.
Super fun.
Where it's just kind of, it goes down the hills. It's swinging through. It's really cool that that's right there on the old location of the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea Lagoon.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
Really cool. And it's just kind of, you can walk all around it there in Fantasyland. It's like on an island kind of. So it's really great. Really great ride.
Super cute. Super fun. Then when it's time to go over to Beacon Barrel, we had to walk across the park. So that was fun to see a lot of the park. I wanted to try to pull the sword from the stone.
Oh, yes,
that
I know.
Shows up in my TikTok all the time.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they roped it off as the parade was coming through, so we couldn't get to it. We walked past a couple of attractions, the Rapunzel bathrooms.
Yes,
which I had to be reminded, no, all of that theming for Rapunzel literally is just for a bathroom.
Yep. Tangled toilets. Yep.
And we walked past It's a Small World, and I was really surprised to see It's a Small World because I have no recollection of It's a Small World at Florida's Disney World.
Yeah. It's kind of hidden there. It's like just off to the side. It's not as like got a big facade like the one at Disneyland.
And the one at Disneyland is so iconic. And that is the only one that exists in my memory. And I was just really surprised stumbling upon this one as we were walking by to get to Beacon Barrel. That's my only comment there is. And then as I was walking, I was like, I have no memory of this park at all. And
you were seeing it in dark too, like because we went right to Tron, went to Space Mountain, then it was dark, so you were seeing things, without.
And trying to turn my memory back 35 years, it was not working for me. I could not remember.
It's changed so much. There's so much change that's happened since then. So all everywhere and in all the lands. So So then it was time. We made our way over to Beacon Barrel, which is a Pirates of the Caribbean themed bar. That, again, from what I understand, is tough to get reservations for. But Tom from Louisville had worked on that months earlier.
Yes, absolutely he did. And so that was fantastic. We got to go in there, got ourselves our themed drinks. We were told by our serving wench, I don't know if that's that we had 45 minutes to drink our drinks and get out, or else she'd send us to Davy Jones' locker. It was super fun. Lots of decor all over the place. I think we were there to see 2 of the mini shows. One was the parrot telling some jokes, and then another one was a storm hit the inside of the bar, and things were shaking, and we heard the thunderstorms.
Yeah.
It's super fun.
It's fun. And this was a beautifully themed bar. If you get a chance to go there, you walk around. The bar looks like a pirate ship. And if you stand at one section of it, like the windows and part of the bar make a skull's face, it's really great. And
it's a great optical illusion that you have to, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah. Really, really fun. I think it's probably the best decorated and themed bar in Disney that I've seen. But the experience itself just left a bad taste in my mouth. It was even worse than like the Oga's Cantina, which also has a time limit. But there, I didn't feel like it was such a rush to get you out. We ordered our first drinks, had those, ordered a second one. But as they were coming, the lady was like, hurry up, drink those. You've got to get out.
As she was giving us the second round, telling us to hurry up. Yeah, it felt very rushed. And you also can get some small plates. And we did get a little bit of food, and it felt rushed. It really did.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why they have to be like that. I mean, give a little bit more time, I feel like, or I don't know, charge more.
Well, for the prices you're paying per drink, they got to up that time a little bit and let you sit there and enjoy it, because like, what's the point? Like, I won't go back if it's the same thing, because like, what's the point?
Build a larger venue, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, I know they want to like make as much money as they can off it, but come on, man. Like, and I know that a lot of people want to experience it, but if you are building a small bar that's going to be, exclusive, and it's a hard one to get a reservation for, that's just going to make it always full. So charge a little bit more per drink, but let us stay an hour, because I thought that was cheesy to be delivering the check when I had only had like one sip of the drink. And so it's like, so here's this really nice made cocktail, and I'm having to like shotgun it as we're walking out. I'm like, this is not, what do we do? Like that. Yeah. So that left a bad taste in my mouth, just because it was like, I don't know. And especially that she's like, hurry up, go. Like, and it wasn't in a character. It was like literally like telling us to get lost. So
yeah. I mean, or limit it to one drink, right?
Yeah,
you come
exactly.
In, you do one drink, you see a little show, they tell some jokes, and then you leave.
Yeah.
Maybe make it a shorter experience if that's how it's going to be. But that was disappointing that they were doing it that way.
But man, what a beautiful part.
It was super fun.
Yeah. And just really fun. And I don't know, like, here's the thing, like my past experience at Disney bars where it's supposed to be with characters, the people who are serving are not doing a good job as their characters. Like, you could just tell. It's like when I went to the Oga's Cantina in California, like the guy was like, oh, I had something similar in a bar in Cincinnati. It's like, no, you're not supposed to say Cincinnati, man. Come on.
Planet Cincinnati?
Yeah, right. No, and this lady kind of felt the same thing. Like, she was doing the jokes, but you could tell she was like not really into it that much.
Right. She was like, oh yeah, from my pirate ship.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was just kind of like, hurry up and order and let me get out of here. I want to go home. It's been a long day. So I don't know. But so, yeah, like beautiful, like even decor, better decorated than Trader Sam's. But the Trader Sam experience, in my experience, has always been better. So in terms of being more fun.
There you go. Cool. Well, that was the end of the night. When we left, at that point, there were fireworks, Mike. When we stood outside, we watched the fireworks. Pretty good view of the fireworks, I felt, above the Tiki Bar as we were walking out of that area of the park.
Yeah.
And then we, of course, were coming from the backish of the park. We were trapped by the crowds.
Yes.
So boy, were we.
Yeah, we went and sat up on like the it's that nice fancy restaurant where they do the character dining, Crystal Palace, I think it's called. So we sat up there.
So you have a nice view of the castle.
Yeah. So we sat there, looked at the castle while we let the crowds dissipate. But then the stores were still open, so we were able to go in there and do some shopping. There was a nice moment where you, me, and Tom, Kevin, and Chris standing right at the entrance of Main Street looking down towards the castle, and it was, just not too many people there. That was great. So we had a chance to sit there and look. And I remember Tom from Louisville was saying, like, it had been a rough day at the Magic Kingdom. Like, there were things that were closed. It was crowded. But he's like, I don't care. I just always need to come back. I need to come back. And he was just...
Well, it was nice
nice
standing
moment.
there at the entrance of the park with Walt, right there near us, looking down Main Street at the castle as a way to say goodnight. It was nice. It was
cool.
a nice, and boy, oh boy. And I was like, oh, great. My feet hurt. Been another long day, 4 long days, miles of walking. Time to go home.
Nope, not yet.
Not by a long shot, because again, transportation woes with Disney.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. I think we were like, how do we get on an Uber? How do we get out of here? And it was like, oh, you got to like go to the Uber site. And it's like, I got to like 20-minute walk to get to the Uber place. And it's going to be $75 looking at the app. I was like, my Airbnb is like 1.2 miles away.
Yeah, right.
It's like $70.
Oh my God. Yeah. So how did you do it? You were going to catch a ride with the guys, right? Because they had their car.
Yeah.
out
So
at the
they weren't
parking
too
lot.
they weren't too far from where I was staying, and so they offered to give me a ride. I guess it was more than 1.2 miles. You insisted that you were just going to hang out and get an Uber and get out of there.
Yeah.
But we were trying to remember where the car was parked, and what's the Tiki hotel?
Oh, the Polynesian. Yeah.
The Polynesian. They were like, I think we parked near the Polynesian. So we had to figure out how to get were we going to take the monorail to the Polynesian? No, let's just walk to the Polynesian. So we walked all the way. No, first we walked to the Contemporary. That's what it was.
Uh-huh. Yep.
We're going to walk to the Contemporary to take the monorail to the Polynesian. Why is transportation to and from Disney so difficult, Mike?
It's difficult. Especially at the end of the night on a crowded night where everybody's trying to get out to the parking lots.
Yep.
It's a log jam.
That was
So
awful.
I thought
So-
we did the right thing by walking to Contemporary. They've got a path you can walk and go over that way. Was it easy? Like, that's where I left you guys. Was it easy to get into Polynesian from where you were? Did you take the monorail?
Yeah, it was fine. We go into the Contemporary, and then we were touring around the Contemporary because it's a cool, weird hotel.
Oh,
They've got what were the Mary Blair murals. Tom was insisting on showing us the five-legged goat. I don't know.
Five-legged goat. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Fine, whatever. And then we were watching for the monorail because the station's right there. The monorail shows up. We hop on the monorail, go to the Polynesian. We go out the wrong way of the Polynesian, walk how far into the parking lot? I think we're going the wrong way. We turn around, walk back through the Polynesian. I'm sure we did at least another mile and a half.
Oh no!
After we left the park of walking, and then finally made it out. Finally made it home. Long night. Slept like a baby. Woke up in the morning and flew home to Indiana.
I'm sure. I actually, after I said goodbye to you guys, I was looking at my Lyft app, and it was still like $50 to get to the hotel. So I said, you know what? I saw there's a little eatery open there, and we hadn't really stopped for dinner. I didn't eat any food at that Beacon Barrel. So I was like, I might get some food there to take back. And there were also shops open, like there are gift shops in the Contemporary. So I actually did some shopping for some people there because they had everything that was inside the Magic Kingdom at these shops. So I had the whole place to myself. After I did all of that, I looked at my Uber app. It had gone down to like $28 to get home.
The rush was over. Let's go.
Yes. So it was perfect. So I just went out to the car hop place at the Contemporary. The guy in a Tesla pulls up. I'd never ridden in one of those. So that was kind of cool to see what that was all about. And got back to Universal. And just like you, next morning, woke up, caught the plane home, and finally got some rest. That was a long 4 days.
It was a very long 4 days, and we did clock over 10 miles each day.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. But what a great day at Disney! I had a great time. Rode some new attractions, some very different and unique attractions. I think that Disney did what Disney was supposed to do for me on that trip. Right, there was nothing that was even being disappointed in some things that didn't quite live up to what they Space Mountain, Space 220, that elevator ride up. Even those things were great, right?
Yeah.
Because they're special and they're unique and they're different. Everything's different at a park like Disney World. So it was a wonderful day. And another big thanks to Eric and Emma, and then of course the guys Kevin, Chris, and Joe and Tom. So super fun hanging out with everybody. That was the meetup, everybody. That was the Quadrilogy meetup. trip report. Hope you all enjoyed that. We certainly did, getting to all those parks.
Yeah, so fun. So fun. It's so fun to hang out with so many of you guys, and we appreciate it. And everybody at the meetup, but also on the other days too. And good new coaster credits, some old favorites too, and just fun, man. And it was exhausting, but so worth it. So worth it. And I've got so many memories. And we've been putting a lot of video of this stuff and a lot of pictures up on our social media, on our YouTube channel, Instagram. So go and check those things out, because we've been trying to, as we talk about them here on the show, create short little videos where there's actually footage that we've took and pictures and stuff. At one point, Chris was like, "Oh my God, man, you're shooting a lot of footage." So we've been putting that up over the last couple of weeks, and we'll continue to do so.
Yep, absolutely. And thanks to everybody for supporting the show, making the show possible, keeping us coming back week after week to bring you this great talk. Everybody over at Patreon, thank you. At the $20 level, say thanks to Alex Payne, Brian Wackler, Chris Rankin, Cincinnati Nick the Sweatshirt Guy, our friends at Club Z, the two bearded coaster Chris's, CM Venom, Colton Toms, Dino Grace, John Brody, John Brown, Josh Combs, and Justin Padilla.
Also, Karen and Lee Halloran, Kevin Wilson, Kyle Kiefer, our friends at Made to Thrill, Matt Walker, Mike Baer, Nick from Paris, Paulo de los Reyes, Patrick Steinman, Rich Barber, Rick Burnley, Shane Mankiewicz, Tom from Louisville, and Zachary Carpenter.
Also a thanks to Kyle Lindner of Lindner Design Company, specializing in branding, illustration, and small batch custom apparel. You can find them on Instagram at Lindner Design. Mike, I was late sending out some birthday stuff to our Patreon folks, but those are in the mail. So if you missed your birthday in the last few weeks, don't worry, you got a package in the mail. There is a birthday club. If you go to patreon.com/Coaster Radio, where I send you something on your birthday.
Nice.
We got the snail mail club. We've got the Discord. There's great perks and bonus content and all sorts of stuff. Patreon.com/Coaster Radio. Check it out, and thanks for supporting the show.
Yes, never a better time to join Patreon than right now, and never better time to send us listener questions, because that is the show happening next week. EB and I are ready to believe you.
That's right. Send us your questions, and we'll answer them on next week's episode of Coaster Radio.
You've been listening to Coaster Radio, the original theme park podcast. To learn more about the show and hear hundreds of episodes from the archives, visit our website at coasterradio.com. This is your announcer, Neil Patrick Harris. Thanks for listening. Peace out, suckers. Coaster Radio is a production of Lift Hill Media, LLC. Audio and video from this program may not be broadcast, edited, or reproduced without our express written permission. Copyright 2026, all rights reserved. This was all done in one breath.